There's probably no more efficient way to get your website to rank on organic search engine results on Google than by incorporating video on those web pages, if you know how to do it right. But the good news is these videos don't need to be fancy to work for you. Today, you're going to learn why video is so crucial on Google search engine results, how to do it right, and what types of videos I recommend for getting the best results. You might not know this, but more than half of the websites that show up on Google search results will have video on them. Why? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First, if you don't know this already, Google owns YouTube and it gives preference to its own platform. So when you embed a video on your webpage from YouTube, Google likes that and it pushes it up higher in the search engine rankings. The other reason is that video on your website makes your page stickier, which means that people linger longer on web pages that have video on them because they're watching the videos. Google measures that, and the more time someone spends on a particular web page, the more Google perceives it as a higher quality web page, driving it up in the search engine results. Is there anything Google doesn't measure? Okay, now that I've got you convinced, let's talk about your strategy. Your initial inclination might be to focus traffic to your homepage, but I'm going to steer you in a different direction here. Think about how people use Google nowadays. They actually ask it questions as if it's a person. So you want to be answering those questions on your website. You should create a series of FAQ blogs that answer the questions people are searching for. And how do you find out what people are searching for? There are a lot of tools. You could use the website answerthepublic.com. You could subscribe to a service like SEMrush or use TubeBuddy, which is a YouTube search engine optimization tool to find out what people are searching for online. Or you can just answer the questions that people ask you in real life, because those are probably the exact same questions people are asking Google. Step number 2 is to create the content. Remember when I said these videos don't need to be fancy? This is what I'm talking about. You can just shoot yourself answering the questions people are asking online, and then you write a corresponding blog post. That is what your FAQ webpage is going to be made of. Make sure both your video and blog post are full of keywords. Incorporate variations on those keywords and key phrases to make sure you're maximizing your searchability. The content between your video and your blog post can overlap. That's totally fine. Now that you have the content, you want to actually build the web pages for your FAQs. And listen up, you want separate web pages for every frequently asked question that you've answered in a video and blog post. You don't want one long web page with a series of FAQs because it's going to confuse Google. It's not going to know what the focus of the topic of that page is. You're better off creating separate pages with separate FAQs, and you just get the link from YouTube and embed it on that blog post in the back end of your website. Your next step is to optimize all of your content. So on YouTube, that means giving your video a very keyword-rich title and having a lot of keywords and key phrases in your description. And in your blog article, you want to make sure that that title is also very rich in keywords and that the content of your blog article has a lot of alternate variations on those keywords so you can really get scooped up by Google. And on both of these, you want to make sure you add your alt tags. Now, nowadays, tags are not as important in SEO as they used to be, but I just still do it for good measure. And now that you've done all this work, you want to give those web pages a jumpstart boost on SEO by sharing them across all of your social media channels to drive a lot of instant traffic to those pages. Listen, if you're interested in creating your own videos in this way, I do have a whole playlist to help novices like you make video for their businesses. I'm going to link to it right here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.